Hello and welcome back to the SWAN Pricing Show. My name is Filip Vucic. I'm a pricing mentor.
I am Phil Zolotov. I am the business mentor.
And today we're talking about the challenge to authority and how it affects how you can price a project, let's say, right? So how would you define an authority challenge?
Yeah, the authority challenge or objection, we can call it both ways, is the specific situation in which you are speaking with potential customer, the prospect, and they are not sure, are they ready to trust you? Are they ready to step into business collaboration with you? And do you have a proper qualification to help and or resolve their specific challenge or issue?
Okay. And this happens in the duck pricing world as well.
Yeah.
But there things are more binary. So you either have the qualifications or you don't have the qualifications. You can either help or not help. And when we're talking about SWAN pricing cases, things are more nuanced, right? Why would you say that's the case?
The specific situation is when the experts are approaching to the conversation with a respectable prospect, potential client and customer, there is always a positive gap and range between you can start some kind of alignment and collaboration. In the duck world, the specific case and scenario is, as we said, a binary. It is everything or nothing. There is no middle ground. But if you already have the authority objection in hand, you can easily manage that. How? Simply suggest and propose that you start with one specific challenge and or problem, which will be helping in resolving your client. And definitely, you then build the trust, relationship, and in the end, authority. And based on that foundation, you can easily later on expand. Because also what is important, that specific situation with authority is exactly and in parallel connected with time objection, because a lot of people are unsure how much time and effort is required to resolve some respectable case. And more often than not, they think that specific issues can be easily handled and managed. You need one day and that's it. In most cases, the true story and reality is that is impossible. So you need more time. You need to set up proper clarity. What are your actual problems and what are priorities and which are the things you want to resolve first?
I'm glad you mentioned clarity, because the reason why they think that this is it's either a 2-day job or it's not, is because they don't really know what they need from you. Mostly when people can recognize, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about right now. What documents or what items, what artifacts, what tasks can they do for me? But that's like a caterpillar trying to order new shoes versus getting the service of being metamorphosed into a butterfly. They will not see any sense in acquiring wings. I don't need wings. I'm doing just fine with wings. I need shoes, right? So to come back from Fairyland, they know the tasks that they are doing right now, and they are wondering why should they pay so much for somebody to do the tasks for them. But it's not about tasks. So you and I, when we work, we do go through some tasks. We do some things that the clients would have done on their own. But it's not, they don't need us because of those tasks. They need us because of the clarity that we can bring. And it's very hard to explain the value of clarity to somebody who doesn't have it. It's pretty close to explaining wings, right?
Yeah.
So it's the point is not the deliverables. Although there's going to be deliverables, that's not what I'm selling. And I'm going to do some tasks for you, but that's not what I'm selling, right? And so what are we selling then in that case as an authority? I think there's at least 4 things. I think, and we're talking now not, a transformation. You will feel like a new, no, I'm talking about very concrete terms here. It could be relief. So there are some physical, psychological, mental pressures that you feel right now that you will not feel, some doubt, some pain, some fear, that will like melt away. So that's a relief, right? The what I can offer you is, yes, tasks and stuff, but also relief from this that you're feeling right now. That's one thing. Second thing is new options. Like with wings, yes, you will still be able to walk the way you walk, but you will also be able to fly. And that changes a lot of things in many different ways. So new options is something that is a very concrete kind of a value that you can offer. The third one is results of some kind. So numerical, and this is what usually comes to mind for people. But then they say, I can't guarantee those. And yes, of course you can't. You're not going to be the one doing them. You will just be the one enabling them. However, if there's a chance that there will be some tangible results, or there's a trend in your clients getting some tangible results, I think that's very concrete value, right? That you can offer. And finally, tools. So what is an item or document, a technique, a way of a workflow that they don't have right now that they would be using all the time after they've worked with you, and what for? So relief, options, results, or tools are 4 very concrete ways in which we can tie the nebulous notion of value into something that they can understand, which is not tasks, and it is not items, not documents. How many pages is that going to be? Look.
13 or 15. And it's a big difference. If you give me 13, I'm not sure I'll pay you, but if you give me 15, then we have a playground for discussion. Still not sure that I'll be paying, but we are more closer to that. Yeah.
The joke is, they know they don't want pages, but it's very hard to say clarity and have them say, oh yeah, I know what you mean. They don't. How would they, right? What with they have no experience of flying in 3 dimensions. How would they say, oh yeah, I know what you mean? They don't. Exactly. So there needs to be some translation going on from this to that. And I think we talked in the pre-show about defensiveness. And I think that it's a trap that people very often fall into, because if people doubt our authority, then sometimes we default to either formal things, so saying, well, I have a diploma, like, yeah, okay, or we default to these let's say objective markers, like but yes, you're going to get a 10-page report, or I don't know. How does defensiveness look in your industry? How does defensiveness look there?
Yeah, it's it is similar to the type and the explanation you gave. More often than not, the clients are just asking the question. They're not attacking, they're not pushing or anything. The problem is the experts on the other side, they are kind of unsure, and maybe sometimes in uncharted territory, industry-wise and similar, and they are trying to find a grip for the background, whatever, within the documents, the tools and things which aren't relevant for that specific discussion, nor they are the thing client asked from you. So they're just raising the defensive guard, and that's it. The point is just to give them more deeper explanation, because the primary thing there is understanding, as you mentioned today, the person with whom you have the conversation, they're not experts and professionals. That is the reason why they're asking you to help them. So help them and guide them towards the tangible results. Give them more context, expand, give exact examples, make a parallel within the similar or complementary industry. As said in start, it's not the attack, it's just a question which asks for giving a little bit more of clarity, because they don't know anything about it, or they have some kind of concept in their heads, but in most cases, that's not it. It's only a small fraction of the actual state, but you are there to help them and guide them. So the same thing is happening in any respectable expertise niche. Are we talking about the agency? Are we talking about branding consulting? Are we talking about business coaching? You name it. It is similar situation in case, and the problem lies within the professional and the expert, because their primary reaction is defense and raising the guard. It's wrong. People are just asking the freaking question. That's it.
Yes, and it's their job to ask.
Absolutely.
It's not their job to know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they want to engage with you, so
yes,
they need answers. It's so simple.
so you're saying mostly the authority checks are not personal. They are just, you know, somebody saying, hello, is this room number 34, right?
Yeah. And what is good practice? I am practicing that for years, especially when you have kind of more complex project type on your table. Except paid workshops, etc., etc. If in size and scope it's even kind of maybe smaller, or you know that you need 15 to 20 minutes discussion about it and dig deeper, give them space. Suggest, okay, take your time, let's organize the meeting, the follow-up for the next meeting. We need 10 to 15 minutes. In the meantime, make your internal checkup, conversation, make some notes and prepare some of the questions, so we can get proper clarity what are our next steps and how our collaboration looks like. Because as we said about that in our previous shows, people are also buying the system. They're buying you as the expert professional. They're taking the results, but also the system and the approach. So it is very important for you to guide them how the process will exactly work. Because if you are unclear about that, they are not trusting you, so you can actually help them, because they're lost in the space and you look the same. How you can expect to close the deal? It's impossible. That won't be happening.
Yes, you do look the same.
Yeah.
And their set of assumption is assumption is that you are, because in the duck world, most vendors are basically the same. So, you know, I can buy brooms from this guy or that guy. They probably come from the same factory in China. So does it really matter who my broom vendor is? Not really. This is not the case for SWAN pricing. This is not the case. A coach is not a coach. An agency is not an agency. A freelance graphic designer is not a freelance graphic designer. They're actually very hard to compare. However, that's not the instinct. The instinct is there's probably nothing different about this, right? And if you don't take that defensively, you can basically explain it in a constructive way that in this case, this is the specific value that we need to talk about. And then we can talk about the amount of that can be delivered within some realistic expectations. So circling back to the beginning and saying this is not all or nothing. So it's not like you're going to buy brooms for me or not buy brooms for me. It's, if this is the situation that you described, these are the iterations of the value that you can get. And you can get this from a 2-hour workshop. If you want to get that, that's like a 6-month drive. And that one is a long-term thing that needs to be built from scratch by both of us together, if that's going to be a goal, right? But it's not a yes and or no situation. Anyway, knowing how to make value tangible makes it much easier for them to grasp what would it actually mean to work with you. So because before that, they're thinking in terms of delivery or opinions, because that's what eggheads do. They give you opinions. They're going to do tasks for you and then line those tasks with piles of opinions. Who needs that, right? And we can do so much more, but that only matters if we can get the message across that this is true, right? And this is why these techniques matter for your authority as well, because your authority is meaningless by itself, especially to somebody who doesn't really understand how would that change their situation. But if you can provide relief, if you can provide options, results, tools, then that changes their situation in a very concrete way. And then you can say, okay, and this is the price for this, right?
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to add here, which I'm seeing way too often in the conversation when I'm speaking with business coaches, consultants, various expertise business owners, they're kind of being irritated and frustrated with the conversation they have with the prospects. They're stupid, they don't understand. No, it's your fault. It's your fault they're not understanding things, because people are coming to you with unknowns and uncertainties. So you could be smarter, gather all of that data, give all the answers, prepare practically the FAQ document if you want to do so. And you have a frame how you can easier communicate all relevant aspects, elements, because a lot of things are just the regular pattern of repetition. People have similar, sometimes the same challenges, simply on the other scale and size, depending on the business scope and everything. But quite similar situations are out there. So you only need to address it properly and communicate it more transparently, so that can be understood and people see what is the point behind. So it's our fault, and we are accountable for making and be vocal, transparent, and that our word is being understood by the other side. So it's not clients whose fault that is, it's ours, because we are those who are preparing that frame as the experts. The more clear for them, the easier to close the deal.
Yeah. And it's our fault. But even if there was no fault to go around, it's our job.
Exactly.
So during the Corona crisis, I said, and it was particularly bad in Italy at the start. And I said, if somebody made a cure for Corona and went to Italy and only spoke in Croatian or Klingon or whatever, I mean, those people could use the medicine, but it's not their fault if the professor is unable to communicate with them, right? It is a part of the job to be able to communicate the value. You're not going to go there and say, you now learn my language because you need what I'm selling. No, it is the part of the job to learn the language of your audience, because it's a moot point if you can solve for things which they cannot understand that they need. Who cares, right? It's just a corporate scene comes to mind of mine. So I'm an analyst, and I've been working in an IT company, which with mostly IT people, but the finance guy was an analyst as well. And we were talking about something, and I said, realistically, I'm the only one that can finish this. He said, well, I could do that. I said, yes. Do you have the time to do that? No. So my point still stands. I'm not saying I'm the only one able to do this, but it's same difference. Nobody else is able, time-wise or ability-wise or whatever. But I mean, it's the details don't matter. It's either me or nobody. So for different reasons, but I thought it would be a waste of my time to enumerate all of the reasons why this is the fact, right? Anyway, I think we've got this. Would you like to wrap something up here?
No, I think we got a cool frame. Eventually, if you have something to say for the final words.
I don't. Where can people find you, Philip?
People can find me on LinkedIn and also on my business consulting page and mentorship page, philipzalota.com.
People can find me on fearless-pricing.com and on many other places as well, it seems. Very cool. So, people, thank you for being a part of another SWAN pricing show, and I'll see you next time.
See you. Bye-bye.